What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Levi, and we're here for a new series. This is going to be my first attempt at coaching you guys, and I don't know how this is going to go. I'm super excited though. I put out a form over on my community tab that some of you guys filled out. Appreciate you guys that are willing to show your games on stream. Helps me out a lot, and I'm hoping I can help you guys out. I have a video prepared, I guess, on how I hope this will work. I also think my mic's a little bit too loud. Let me fix that real quick. I prepared a video on like how I'd like the stream to go, but we will see if I stick to that. I'll probably go a little bit longer for this first episode, just so that we can get everything figured out. I've never done one of these before, but yeah, so here is the video explaining everything. Welcome to the It's Levi's Replay Review livestream. Simply fill out the form in the video description or on my community tab ahead of the stream, and your game will be considered for a review during the livestream. Live coaching is completely free, so don't feel the need to super chat or spam the chat trying to get one. It'll be ignored. After the stream, the VOD will stay up so you can always come back to this stream. There will be timestamps in the description in case you missed your review. If you submit a game for review, you can expect the following. I'm sharing my knowledge and experience with Eternal Return to help you become a better player. All advice, tips, and tricks will be based on my own experiences. The aim is to make you a better player, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat whether it's your own game or someone else's. But do not put anyone down if they make a bad play or die. We're all here to learn and get better. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. Leave a like if you enjoy and let a friend know so we can have more submissions. The more people that submit, the more you're likely to learn. Let's get started. Right, so that's basically just the gist of things. We're here to learn. This is going to try to be a educational stream. We're not here to like put anyone down or anything, so don't worry about the quality of some of the plays that you might see. We're going to focus on some of the stuff that we can hopefully do better. And my model's back, so we'll have me on screen for this one. Hopefully, if these are all 15-player lobbies, I won't be in the way of any of the gameplay, but I might have to adjust if there is. So our first submission is Hollow. They're ranked silver or lower, and they want to know if their basics are fucked. I'm looking for a critical weakness because I feel like I do an okay job, but I don't get okay results. In fact, I am a shit tier player, as in 1 player kill per week, not counting easy mode characters like Ekyan or Yuki. I feel like I've improved immensely at the game, but it means nothing. So that's definitely frustrating to feel, I imagine. This game is hard. Like, you won't always get kills. It's more of a matter of getting your fundamentals down first, and then seeing if you can translate into that, into like producing kills and getting higher placements. So we'll have a look at the game you submitted. I'm assuming you play Adina. Hello, Lunar Song. How's it going? I don't know too much about Adina. Not gonna lie. I don't play that character pretty much ever. I will do my best. I probably can't help you with like spell combos or anything like that, but I will do my best to let you know what I can see. So first of all, both the spawns were kind of looted, so you had to take this spawn. That's fine. I'm also going to assume that you needed 2 spawns, which is why you're going through this Bernice. Probably for second cloth, I imagine. So that's fine so far. Randomly getting hit by a Bernice, that's kind of creepy. Get a unlooted spawn in school, which is good. While you're having inventory open, I would loot until your inventory gets full. Like, keep moving while you're okay, here. Let me gather what I'm explaining. While you have inventory slots full or open, you should be looting. That was one trigger happy Bernice. Yeah, it really was. You should be looting in a way where, I'll move this off screen for a second. You're gonna go to your next location. So I'm assuming you're either gonna go up to this hyperloop or into archery here. You'll wanna, like, looting like this is fine, but you stopped here to craft, and you still needed a hat, and you had the inventory space open, you kind of only want to craft in the early game when your inventory is full, or if you have to like need space to loot everything out of a box. I would definitely recommend like grabbing everything you needed here and then crafting at this box. It'll save you maybe 1 second at most. It's not a huge thing, but it's just something that you want to like try and translate to muscle memory if you can. We shall continue on. This is the first time I've been on a YouTube stream. Hi Jinx, how's it going? This is kind of also... Oh, okay. You only needed one thing here. I thought you were going to try and loot through here. I was going to say that's a risky loot, but that's fine there. Things are going good, Jinx. I hope you're doing well, too. Again, we're stopping to loot at one box. Get a lot of your items as much as you can, and then start crafting. And it could be that you're trying to prioritize your weapon. That's also kind of fine. But I would just worry more about speed. Grouping the chickens up here is good. That's something that's really good that you don't see too often in lower elos. I'm working on a super secret new project. That's exciting. If you have any details to share, please feel free to announce it. This is good looting again. Assuming these flowers are going to be for that one armband and food. So you'll be good on food. Do you have... So I don't know if Adina runs spirit culling or not, but if not, you're going to be probably low in SP.
Check if there's any alcohol.
Oh, I'm sure it's still exciting, Jinx. Console here, I like this. Especially when you have lots of time. I'm assuming you're going for some tree. This is all very good. Take the wolves. I'm going to assume you're going to take this boar as well. Or go straight to the Yuki. There isn't...
One less inconvenience for you.
Okay. So I'm not sure if this is a rank game. This could just be a normals game. If this is a rank game and you see a 2-item or 3-item with green weapon Yuki right here, you floor it into them. That is... You go for that kill. You've got console vision. You can see that there's no one else in the zone. That you probably go for that kill right here because he's gonna get close enough to dash into the speed gate probably and get away. If this is a normal game and you're trying to let him live, then that's one thing. But if it is ranked, you pick up that kill right there. Don't be scared of a green weapon, Yuki. I know you want the tree. If it's costing you too much time where someone's going to contest you on the tree, that's one thing. But that's 100% a kill right there. I'm assuming you're going to get away from this Jenny. I probably would have ran this way. Yeah, speed gates will get you out. So that's good. So Lennox fighting a bot there, interesting. I'm gonna assume this is a normal game then, if there's bots. But yeah, so I'm gonna assume you let that Yuki live then.
You still have a long way to go.
So you got out with tree, you got good food, got some SP as well, in a pretty good spot. Oh, that's the Jenny, sorry. Glacial ice, does this go to Scotty or glacial shoes? I don't know what Adina builds. Everything so far here is good. I'm glad you didn't like waste time checking around this zone for hunts because you saw the Lennox in it. Oh, this is for the Arcana weapon. You typically let low levels live unless they try to kill me. Yeah, I try to do that as well. In normals at least. You're probably good by night 1. Especially if they're like gonna contest you on an objective. Bears are good. I'd like to see you take this boar and the bear at the same time, just to speed up time.
One less inconvenience for you.
In fact, you didn't even go for the boar at all, which is just kind of free mastery. Still sub 30, so no ranked yet. No problem. And shield battle zone. Good timing.
Bad move and you might get caught.
Radar scan, you're going to see these two fighting. I'm glad you came over to third party rather than go to this recon drone, because you can assume that if they're already fighting at the timer, they probably started the fight before the zone became a battle zone. So I think that's a good play. I like that. You also, I think maybe you might have been able to cause some more havoc with the Jenny there, but I'm glad that you are prioritizing your timer. I would say like once you get,
Any alcohol.
yeah, Jenny got the kill there. I was gonna say once you get like 2 or 3 of these, it's probably a little bit hard for Adina to kill them. I would start running over just because you know they are fighting and you know you're gonna have the timer advantage as long as you don't see this drone die. Playing it safe though isn't a bad play. You just have to make sure that you win the 1v1 with Jenny. I'm gonna assume she doesn't have passive after fighting the Estelle. This matchup, I would assume you just try to keep Jenny as far away as possible, and I don't know how to do the Adina knockback. That one there look like double star maybe. I would worry about trying to hit that when she is forward. This is also just unfortunate that Adina has such a hard time clearing these drones. I would almost say you probably have a better bet going to alpha as Adina. I'm not entirely sure. I would look into what high elo Adinas are doing, but just based on like watching you try to clear that, I think alpha might be a better play for you.
Look for the fallen
If they go shield zone, then I'm just wrong, but it just looked a little tough. I like that you chose a wolf zone to respawn in. I don't know if bots show up on the like scan. A little risky trying to join a zone with someone in it. I think this Lennox also would have shown in Avenue. I probably would have picked Hotel because these wolves are probably up and it's also empty. Adina does much better just harassing alpha. Yeah, I feel like I see Adina's on objectives a lot, specifically alpha. That's a good word. Walk right in the melee range of the dial-in is a little questionable, but that could have just been like a vision thing. Definitely want to keep your distance for the melee matchups. Also, you probably would have been okay just taking raw ults. Wow. You probably would have been okay just taking food there. I'm not sure if you needed to the rest. She probably could have just sat on it and took it and left. Okay. So here is a trap that low elo players fall into a lot, where they get like hella chunked out by a character who like blows all their cooldowns and then they leave. She committed ultimate and you're still alive. So you kind of won that in a sense. If you let me get my pen back out. If you hold on. Give me a second, sorry. If you have dial in here, right? And she raw ults you in this hallway, you can just retreat all the way back, heal up, and then keep harassing her on this meteorite. Because she has ult, she doesn't have ult anymore. She can't realistically all in you, and if she tries to gap close, you hit her with the one constellation that pushes her back. So it's kind of the same as the Jenny matchup. It's all about keeping your distance. This is just a very matchup dependent thing for ranged and melee. As a range character, you want to keep your distance. And if she's committing ult to close that distance, that's one tool down. You know, with at least, I don't know what dial in ult cooldown is, but it's at least 30 seconds. Yeah, she still has 41 seconds on here. So she's not going to be able to get back onto you that easily. I know you're probably a little bit spooked with how much damage she did to you very quickly, especially without any alcohol or her passive charged up. But by living there, like, you technically win that. She also has a tree on her, so like if you had killed her, that's a 4 square right there. Especially when you're playing normal games, it's the time to limit test, right? Like, you'll learn these matchups more just by fighting them, and you'll lose a lot of them at the start, but eventually you'll start winning them if you just keep at it. I think one of the trickier aspects of the game is figuring out your transitions. Currently have 4 figured out for Bianca, but maybe just 1 or 2 for Nikki. Do you mean like which transitions or like when to get them? So I can help with one of those questions. Usually get your weapon 100% of the time. For most characters, that's good. Which ones? Okay, let me grab you the character hub Discord. Let me just pause this. The Character Hub Discord is a Discord with basically all the information for each character. Each character has a rep, and you can ask questions for that character, or like if you need to look up builds and guides for transitions. It's usually the best player that we have. You're already in it? Okay, perfect. So just head into the Nikki channel, and then there should be something about transitions there. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's something about transitions there for Nikki, because I think I helped someone else specifically for Nikki a while ago with the character Discord. Your mastery is not bad in this game, though. Oh, you kind of got corner trapped a little bit here with the Jenny, which is unfortunate, but this game wasn't bad. Like, you're keeping up in mastery here. I don't know if you'd have any indication of knowing that Jenny's there. Did she take the bear? Yeah, she took the bear, so you might have been able to hear it from where you were. There definitely would have been a ping at the very least. We'll see here in a second. So there's the ping there. You have seen one there, and then I think they'll ping again as you walk by. Yeah, there's the ping there again. So you should know that someone is here. I would just be more cautious than walking straight to the teleporter like this. Yeah, by the time you do see her, there's not really much you can do. So that's more of just like a preventative play by looking at your map. It's also a little unfortunate that she's kind of fed and she's 4 transitions on day 2 with a force corner inventory. Like, normally you won't die that quickly. Knowledge is power. It's just a little distracting. I don't know much about Adina, unfortunately. I'd love to help you with the constructs, but I cannot. Big shiny skills distract me all the time. Yeah, well said. I hope that helps, though. There's a lot of things I think you can work on that are very, like, easily fixable with just a couple games. 1, checking your map, and 2, just like making sure that you're looting in efficiently. I'll say, just like make sure that you always are using your inventory slots. Like, you don't need to sit and just craft at like 1 box per se. I also think it's pretty interesting used to having confidence in a fight. Sometimes that big damage can just spook you. When you push it a bit harder, you can win. Yeah, especially if they blow like a major cooldown. Like, then there's a good chance that like maybe if you don't get the constellation to knock her back, or you miss, I don't know if it's a targeted ability or not, like she still kills you with Qs. So it's just like your best chances are in Usually after the moments where stuff like that happens. All right, next up, we have Hawk. Hawk is unranked last season, and they're having trouble closing out games. One of the reasons this game for sure was me not being there to contest Wick, but I'm curious how I could fight the final fight better for starters, or avoid being in the situation I was in there in the first place. I also have relatively low KP and wide advice. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's also just like repetition. So who are we looking for here? Markus.
Give me a bottle of good liquor and I'll be back in a second.
I'm trying to follow your advice to finish my build ASAP before contesting for tree or meteorite, but some heroes do too much damage or I just panic. Yeah, speed's like the biggest thing for the early game, right? Like there's not really much you can do other than just keep practicing so that you get faster. It could also be that your route might be, like if you're playing a route that's longer than 4 or 5 zones, there's a good chance that there's probably an optimal way to route better. The way you avoid those fights is by turning herbs off and eating ice cream instead. I agree, actually. Anyways, Markus gameplay. Alley to school? Or avenue to school. That's probably an unfortunate spawn for Markus to get the top spawn up there. So far, so good, though. We're using E, which is good. That might have been something I didn't mention on Adina. You probably want to use your speed buff to go in between boxes to help with looting. You videos have been really helpful. I can now get my build done plus 45 seconds left in day 1. That's pretty good. It's faster than my current Rousey route. I'm trying to push faster than 25 seconds. So far, we're doing good here. Felix isn't a threat yet. I wouldn't, unless you don't need any more items, I wouldn't just stop and loot in front of this flower because now Felix is going to loot in front of you. Oh, you need double flower. It might be faster to just keep looting and then come to this flower or to this flower, depending on which path you're taking. Unless you need the inventory space. This is all very good so far. I would watch out for this Felix. He's starting to get items online. Or especially if you're coming through Uptown. I would definitely come around this way though. It gives you more boxes and then it gets your chance to hit the second flower if you need. Thanks for coming out, Yuki. It's good that you got everything in that one box, but it's just like, it's a little bit more risky to do it that way. Beach clear, you have the zone to yourself. Gonna get every hunt here, I imagine, except for this dog. I imagine it's probably not there. Early for bears, so we're getting console. I would have probably made burgers with the 2 boars that you killed here. You got meat there. In case you do have to pick a fight with this Felix, you're not just eating bread. And you had the time, I'd say. Okay, I liked what you did there, trying to bait the bear for the stun, but you also ate like 3 autos trying to do so. It's probably okay. I'm sure you could have been attacking the Felix while you're trying to do that, but I really like the idea of that. And unfortunately, you did have to eat your bread, so you don't have burgers left over or any food currently. There is a Camilla running towards you. This Vanya. I'm assuming once you saw the Vanya hyperloop, you knew you weren't going to take that fight, which is good. I like the idea of kind of just feeding Camillo to the Vanya
Any alcohol?
and fortifying the spare, knowing that you have no food. This is a really smart play to make. Yeah, it was a goodie. It's just, yeah, 8-3 auto attacks trying to make the play, which Felix a little bit overtuned right now. Don't want to be taking too many autos from him.
Check if there's any alcohol.
Depending on what your plan here, I don't know how worth it beach into forest hunts is. If you go beach, forest, school, and then like loop around to get all these hunts in school too, I think it's worth it. So alphas and cemetery, so I'm assuming you're gonna go to a battle zone, possibly. These wolves most likely won't be up in a normal game. Or in a higher elo game, I should say.
One less convenient.
I do like how hard you're farming Mastery, though.
I miss the old days.
Some of my good characters cost 8k, yeah. There is frequent sales, though, which is nice. Bears are still up here, so you're gonna get lucky and take these. These, once again, shouldn't be alive. Wolves would be respawning about now. I like that you're focusing on mastery. This is a kill pretty much every day of the week.
It's the police.
I like that you waited for the dash and waited for the ult before committing your movement spell. It's Markus privileged right there. You have a billion movement speed and can just run people down. I would like to see you go to an objective, I think, after you clear out alley hunts, because you're going to be well ahead in mastery compared to everyone else in this game. You have to like kind of get a feel for your own pacing. Like, you can assume if you got beach bears, you're getting alley bears, you got alley wolves, and you got a bunch of school hunts. Most characters in the lobby probably didn't get that many hunts. So I think it's safe to assume that even though you don't have a transition, you'll be one of the stronger players in the lobby. I would have probably checked for a lighter just so that you can make steak, just so you have food. Presumably that I didn't have any food. There's also a blue box here you could just grab for food. Markus is just an absolute unit of a character. Yeah, he's kind of just a man mode character. Like, if you really like running people down, he's the character for you. Meteorite spawning in a battle zone. Where's the other one? The other one's spawning in the other battle zone, so a little bit unfortunate. Maybe you could go forest tree. I don't know how good Markus is at taking tree.
Check if there's any alcohol.
Remember when Markus was mad on release? Yeah, Markus was so bad on release, I didn't even do a video about him. You're also, alternatively, your other play is to farm your hunt rotation. This is good because beach is closed. I would like, if you do this route every game, at this point, I'd like to see you go back to beach and farm bears, but since it's closed, taking avenue is not bad. Is this a mithril? Or no, it's a four scar. You had enough for four scar, so good. So I'm assuming that's Pengu, I think, is transition for Markus. This is all very good. Hard farming mastery, especially in low elo, is not like the worst way to play. Now, I think you mentioned that the issue was not going to Wick. If you're like, look at the levels in this game, right? Like, you're 13, William is 12 and about to die. 2 11s or 3 11s. Like, you're easily the strongest player in this lobby currently. Hospital at night is a little bit questionable. There's not usually hunts up. Uptown might have been a better play, but I don't know how great of a zone it is for Markus. Maybe even Pond. Pond bears are probably alive right now. All the hunts are inverted. Normally these wouldn't be up either. It's just making a liar out of me. Factory's a good zone though if you do need food. You also have Bangu, which is good. Low ranks, nobody takes animals. Good to know. Yeah, 100% then. If no one's hunting and you're in lower elo, you should 100% be making use of the hunts. 14 weapon mastery on day 2 or night 2 is very good. It's very, very good. I take animals if I can clear them quickly. Otherwise, I'll try to ignore tough hunts aside from wolves. Pre-build? Pre-build, yeah. Post-build, definitely farm everything in your path. There's the Uptown TP. I would have probably liked to see this earlier, and then you either go Battle Zone or Omega. Right now, Omega's free too. Now there's people outside of Battle Zone, so you can't really just get it for free. But I would 100% of like after these bears, beeline it to the Hyperloop and then TP Omega, because it's just, you'll see on radar scan that there's no one here. You're at least at the very like worst taking a 50-50. I'm glad you got steak. You got that in factory. I think if you had gotten that in alley, gone to bears on Uptown, and then gone straight to the Hyperloop, you probably would be the same mastery still without these hunts, and probably a 4-score richer. Yeah, like it's I can't stress enough just like how oppressive you need to be, because like this is not only is it a free rare resource, but you're also like this Adina's getting back, or not Adina, this Vanya's getting back in the game because this 4-score doesn't belong to you, and you probably would just one-shot her. Like she's 12 weapon mastery. There's no way she can at the very least kill you. Like maybe she runs away at worst. I think it's important to hard farm everything that's available to you, especially if you want to play this game where you call in transitions. I think that's all great, but at some point, I think you do need to be on the offensive. There's a specific way to farm with Haze. I'd recommend watching some like higher elo players on how to farm with Haze. There's like an EWQ EQ thing you can do with the reduced cooldown. It helps with her farming a lot. Back in factory is good, I think. Okay, these are still down. Oh, it was Ali's a battle zone, so you can't take those. This is fine though. These will be up soon. I think you should definitely be here in forest, taking this off spawn, which you mentioned in your like the question section. This is a free wick. Like these two are fighting. Haze also isn't a great wick taker, and I would imagine Vanya is probably not the best wick taker either. Like this is a extremely free wick that Haze is gonna get now. We traded a blood for a meteorite. This isn't the best trade in the world. I feel like if I was in this particular game, I'd be getting pretty nervous with all the kills flying around. Even still, right? Like, this Haze has 4 kills. She's 15 weapon mastery and is struggling to do wick. This Vanya, 5 transitions, 13 mastery. Like, even 13 mastery, it doesn't really matter. At most, she can just run away. Vanya's not great against wick. Yeah, that should definitely be a free wick for you. E miss unfortunate. Probably would open up with ult. I see a lot of Marcus's ult first and then E. You kind of have to save E to follow Vanya's dash, I think, too. So if you ult, she just E's away. Unless she wall hops. Hold that a little bit longer and then that's an easy win for you. Unfortunate miss there. I think you still get away. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, didn't have to commit ultimate. She might catch up to you eventually, but... that fight wasn't really a matter of her winning that fight. I wouldn't have attacked that bat there. You kind of alert her to your ping. She would see you on day scan anyway, but it kind of slows you down. You can't also heal. She also kind of just has endless chase at this point. It's a good dodge. You will eventually get away from her. Vanya is unstoppable. Yeah, I just need to close the gap, not to necessarily like stun her out of it. I think even at this point, you could honestly turn. I would just probably waited in the bush there. Or you even have traps. Like, you have a bunch of plays you can make here. I don't think you need to be as scared of her as you are. And you end up TP, like the haze is right on you, which is unfortunate. Good escape though. Right back to farming. What did you make the meteorite with? I didn't see. Running away from the Wick Haze is a good play. These wolves aren't up. Another force core. This is why you always check boxes. Oh, I meant like when they eat towards the Vanya when she was dashing out. Oh, gotcha. Halo or something. I also like Hermes here to cut the sleep duration because you have double healing reduction here, so you don't need that. I said healing reduction. Hermes to cut the sleep duration from Vanya, I think also works. You have enough for a tree if you wanted to call to upgrade this, but it's kind of just in a risky spot at this point. I would just save it for cameras. So you don't have any cameras on you right now. Okay. Actually, let me pause. Here's what your inventory should look like with extra credits when you're in final square, especially when you have time to call stuff in because they're fighting in the other zone. Not that you would know that because I don't think you have cams, but here are the things you need. You need you probably just need regular cameras. You're not going to be using them to take traps because you're Markus and you would just get harassed by 2 range to try and take them. You want to make these EMP drones because you just can run through traps that way, and Markus is either going to spend time like getting autoed to clear them, or if like you have the range, you can use them to charge up your axe. I think axe skills against traps and cameras counts as like the hits needed. Not entirely sure. And then if you have any other credits, I would build the pendulum axe. You don't need to go full double guillotine, just go pendulum axe, and that will help you with the fight being a melee into 2 ranged. It does? Yeah. So I would do that, basically. Have those in your inventory. I guess we'll see if you do. I probably should have waited a little bit longer. These traps are way too early. I would wait maybe at least 10 to 15 more seconds. Just because you're not in immediate danger with them being here. And there's no guarantee like that people are gonna come to your square. It looks like you're gonna get the ABC angle. Oh no, Vanya's heading over. She probably will step in this trap. I think you should. Okay, so we walked too far around this corner. When she hit this trap, that's kind of just when she's defenseless, right? So we traded our trap for one basic attack, which is definitely not optimal. I think if you just kind of like, because you know the trap is there, just like kind of like duck around this corner a little bit so that she has to keep walking forward, but still stay close enough. You get W, you start charging Q, maybe even Alt. You're going to see on Day Scanner that Haze is in the other zone. You can also just kind of infer that she's going to have her own zone because she's had the Wick buff. But I think you need to punish a little bit more off that one trap. She's committing here. That W is dodgeable. A little bit better timing on the unstoppable. Good flip into the trap. Okay, so we'll review this fight. Because you did a lot of good things here, just they weren't particularly timed too well. So we'll start with the trap. This is too far. She's only really in Arcana range to hit you. She's not going to try and auto attack you down, so you don't really have to worry about taking too much cover. She hits the trap. This is too much space for a melee, and it's also not E-able. Like maybe if the trap was like here, and then you could E into it, but it being like out on this corner doesn't really provide much to you unless you're like standing like right here. Next up. So yeah, we trade the trap for one auto. A little bit unfortunate. Thing is, if they stepped out, she'd be able to harass and avoid any possible enhanced W or E pen. Possibly. I think it's just a little bit safer to just like poke them down off the trap. I don't think you getting all in by Vanya is really that big of a deal. This is a good W. Get your auto attack in. I know there's a way to do auto reset with Q. I think you probably could have gotten that off there. It's a good dodge. Tried to bait walking back here to get the stun. I don't hate that idea. Unfortunate that you missed. Vanya does E back in here though, which I think is where you punish her. I think after this E, immediate ult, right? Like she has no way of dodging this now. Unless she goes, like, maybe she gets her bubble off in time. I doubt it. I highly doubt she reacts to that quickly. You also get hit by this bubble. This is definitely dodgeable. Like, you're not slowed, you're not stunned, you're not asleep. You just sidestep this and then walk back forward. Getting hit by that there is not great. Markus doesn't really have a way of avoiding drowsy, but I like that you tried to time the unstoppable with the sleep. You just went a little bit too early. That's just a timing thing. Is it worth ever committing Alt W after she hits the first trap? Maybe. Probably have to do some limit testing. I don't know Markus too well. I don't hate that play though. I think like the all in here on the trap might have been a good idea. This unstoppable is basically half a second too early. That's just execution. More practice and you'll get that every time. Really good that you went for that play though. Also, hello, Amir. At this point, it's kind of fucked. Don't know if you can still get the skill. This is a really good flip. It's good for style, I guess. But like with Haze coming over and now you're in between the two, I don't think you'll be able to do much from this point. So just a little bit better execution. Definitely the Wick buff would have helped too. You wouldn't have been chased for Vanya for like 20 minutes around Hospital and Factory. You probably would have just turned and killed her. Can I say the video where I lost against bot? Yeah, you can submit any replay in the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Feel free. At least we went out with style. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he did a lot of things right. It's just a little bit better execution. I kind of want to know who wins this game now, though. I would imagine it's going to come down to how much Vanya can dodge from Haze. Hermes is a good choice there. Dodges most of the ult. It's just gonna be a skill shot battle. Who dodges more? Dodges to sleep. I think Vanya just has too much shielding. Probably not the most optimal Haze spells. I like that she's using the W to cancel the Vanya W though. I think if the E's, the EQ and the ult have been a little bit more accurate, this is probably a Haze win. She's a hard character though. You get punished for missing your spells. Definitely a hard character. On next stream, yeah, I'll open up the forums for the next stream probably next week. Keep an eye on my community tab. This is gonna be a Vanya one. There's the timer. A little unfortunate. A little bit more accuracy from Haze. They probably would have won that. All right, next up. Where is my tab? There it is. Next up, we have Anon. They're silver or lower, and they want to help, or they want help with decision making of what to prioritize, hunts versus contesting objectives. The last game, I think, probably told you a lot of your answer. They were unranked, and that looked like a lower elo lobby, so hunts are definitely the way to go. It also depends on what character you're playing. We shall see. Your username was Buff Emma, so I'm gonna assume that you're playing Emma. It feels like Vanya takes no damage at all. Yeah, she has very consistent shielding in the late game. She's hard for mages to deal with, that's for sure. Oh, this is Buff Emma playing Vanya. Okay.
Give me a bottle of good liquor and I'll be
Vanya doesn't take hunts great. I also don't think she contests objectives that great either. If you're playing lower elo, I would definitely recommend... Is this on KR? This is on KR, I think. I would definitely recommend prioritizing hunts. If two people sent in the same game, that'd be hilarious. We're looting behind Chiara here. I wonder if there was any indication of that. Oh, she just TPs here. I mean, it's a little unfortunate. You're kind of already pathing this way when she TP'd, but I imagine you don't need a ton of stuff left. You're probably okay to just loot behind her. I see what you tried to do there. I've wandered into KR a few times, but the NAQ slows down. It's an experience, yeah. I haven't played too much KR. My ping's too high, but... I definitely don't have any experience with KR norms. I guess this could be ranked, but if you're looting inside a pond, I would go up here first and then loot around this way just to save time. But again, not too big of a deal. Good that you're getting food. I'm assuming that's going to be purified water, I imagine. And you'll probably go for your tree for the Arcana weapon. If you want to play super aggressive, I would lean towards Nikki. I think Hayes is a character that wants to sit back and react to things. I don't think you'll be playing too aggressive, so you can't force people to fight you. Style is very good for that style, yeah. She can be good at being aggressive, but a lot of the time you can't just like send it with like your shield dash. Like, try to get gap close with W for a style first, and then when they commit their mobility spell, then you shield dash after them. Avenue hunts, this is good. This is the Sylvia route. I would be careful with this on NA. We kind of have a lot of Sylvia players. And I'm gonna imagine that early game Sylvia probably kills early game Vanya. Unless you are a KR player, and then you're probably fine. Night 1, so no objective for choosing the farm. That's fine. Avenue has a lot of hunts. You can probably chain this dog and that wolf together. We're gonna get a fight with Dylan. Oh, she leaves. Do those at the same time. And also walk up, do these chickens and the boar over here and the dog, and then come down to these. Just gets you more experience. And then come down. You also definitely, if you're gonna try and farm out Avenue, I would try to be a little bit faster than what you were. If you're like being efficient with your hunts, from when these spawn at 1 minute, you can actually make it to bears here as they spawn. You'll probably be a little bit slower because Vanya doesn't have as many dashes as Sylvia. You can't just ride your bike. But you realistically should be able to get to this bear. I also walk this way through pond if you can. Just more speed gates that way. Nikki with full rage bar. Probably just leave at this point if you can. She might ult after you. She can also very easily parry your sleep. She doesn't? Question mark? Okay. I feel like, yes, you should have won that fight, just not that way. I feel like Nikki kind of trolled that a bit, but I feel like you also probably should have taken more damage than you did in that. Had that not wall stun you. That's politics at its finest. Good that you got the secure on the kill though. Oh, that's good. Unfortunately, you're not going to make it to a battle zone for that. But, I mean, you traded for a kill, for 2 kills, so that's kind of equal mastery. Nikki had cooldown from W for the bear. I think it resets to a lower cooldown. Yeah, when she gets a successful parry. She definitely should have had it up. I don't think it resets fully, but it does reset a little bit. This is a good rotation. Back to Avenue hunts in the day. You're here, so you might as well do them again. I'd like to see you call something in here. Probably tree for the Arcana weapon, I would imagine. While you're waiting for this, you can also check to see if chickens and bat are here for school, just if you have time. Just a way to get hunts faster. Once again, chain this boar with this dog. You can do them both at the same time. This is a good call in. Is tree.
One less inconvenience for you.
It reduces it by 30%. Interesting.
Go there.
That's so high. I didn't realize it was that high.
Help me. Help me. One less inconvenience for you. It's important.
Meteorite spawning here. I'm assuming that's what the cams are for, to contest. I like that. I would get your Arcana weapon first, though. If that's what you're going for with the Glacial Ice. Once again, I think you're safe to assume that you're one of the stronger people. After this, I would go Omega or Battle Zone, depending on what Vanya goes.
If there's any alcohol. Look for the fallen ones.
This is all very good so far.
I miss the old days.
Although you didn't... I don't know if anyone plays any Arcana characters here. I can never find the fucking Arcana beads. Where are they? That's not Arcana. What are they called? They're just called beads, right? Glass beads. These, I can never find them in Temple, ever. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anyone else has that struggle. Every time I look in Temple, I can never find them. I always have to go uptown. This is also very good because you've pretty much had like sole possession of Avenue, and now there's a battle zone here this whole time, so no one's going to be able to get these hunts other than you. Once again, going for the bear that you got. I would get both. Oh, this one's down for whatever reason. Glass beads are elusive. Yeah, I just can never find them. It's interesting. I didn't know you could click the bear and take the bear's perspective. All this is very good so far. This is a really good game. What was your question again? Because there's not much that I could recommend for this game. This is like pretty much what you want to try and do every game. Decision of what to prioritize, hunts versus contesting objectives. I think you've done everything right. The only thing is, like, here is like I'd pick one, either Battle Zone or Omega. We're doing a little bit of random movement, which is fine, I guess. I'm assuming if you're not going to go Battle Zone, you need to go Omega. I would probably TP there first if you're just going to call in stuff, and then do that in the zone. Just so that you have position advantage on anyone that's TPing in.
I miss the
Oh, no. Okay, you're going to take this Battle Zone. Okay. I don't know if Vanya goes attack zone. If they do, then good. But I imagine the defense zone with all the shielding is probably pretty good. Maybe she needs the attack damage. I don't know. I play the new girl with whip. There's a few of those. Mai or Laura? If you're playing Laura, you probably wouldn't get bear stunned. I'd imagine it's probably either Mai or Lennox. Once you've gotten maybe this twice, well, he already got the kill, but I would probably start head over after that rotation. Laura, you should be able to get a bear stuns pretty easily. What would you do if you clicked on a bear and saw a mouse cursor moving around? I wish in spectator mode we could click on bear and see what item it's holding. But I would imagine it's generated at time of death. W the puddle or the knock up so you don't get hit by it. That's a lot of damage from Leo. Jesus. kind of got your ult baited out there. Still playing this decently well. Unfortunately, you clicked the branch there. Okay. I mean, you kind of trolled this fight a little bit. I would imagine that the timer ran out. Yeah, it looks like the timer ran out. If that's the case, like where you're not going to be able to double the knockup, I would just backstep. And then you kind of take a lot of damage here for free. I think. It, like, at this point, I think it's kind of lost because Leon used all his cooldowns and got so much damage out on you. Yeah, the timer runs out. Okay. I would also go this way over the bus. Yeah, for sure. If you E this way, Leon has to like make a choice on whether he wants to go around this way or go around, because he just committed his knockup. He can't get over this wall. So it either gives you a chance to heal or you make a 50-50 on which way he guesses. And I think if you just keep walking like out this way to heal, he's probably just not going to follow you. But you went this way, so he's able to just walk around the bus to close the gap on you. And then the next part of the fight, we traded all the distance that we got for E for one Vanya basic attack, which into shield. Not that if he didn't have a shield, it would have done anything anyways, but that's just not the trade that we want to make. Yeah, or another thing, yeah, if you had ulted right here, I don't know if you have enough damage to kill him, because I think you would have had to proc it with Q. Maybe your W comes back up. I don't know the cooldowns for Vanya, but it's also another play. I think any other play than kind of what you did was the play. Also, I would try to hold W, like to make your space, right? Like, you're very fast in W. It might be enough to get away from Leon when he gap closes onto you, but like using it and standing still out here isn't giving you much distance. Like, you turn around here. Oh, that's for the ult. You used it to get space here, and then we kind of just walked back into him. Like, once we saw the ult's gonna miss, we probably tried to keep our distance more.
Look for the fallen ones.
Not a bad try. It's kind of one of those things where you just like can't panic. The E over this wall is probably what screwed you over most. But you're still in a good position for this game. You got your early kills. You got 14 mastery. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. We have 15 on Isaac, 12 on Leanne, and 14 on Leon. So you're right there with everybody. Factory, good zone to respawn in. No one here, plus a meteorite, plus it's a good zone for food if you need. I'm assuming you're gonna have a fight with this Isaac. I would, because you're gonna come back this way anyway, I would have gone to get the cams first and then walked back up and took these wolves. Taking these wolves first is fine, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like you're gonna spend most of your time away, where at least maybe if like Isaac's taking the meteorite while you're getting cams, unless you don't go to get cams, like maybe him hearing you do wolves will kind of scare him off a little bit, or not scare him off, but at least like put some pressure on him. It looks like you're just not going to go to cams though, which is fine, I guess. With 4 people left, you probably don't need them. A little bit of an overstep again. You do have to watch out for the amount of things. I'm pretty sure Isaac can taunt a skill there to stop the sleep, but I don't know. Isaac trolled that a little bit too. You also gave up your distance again, which again, if this is KR and you are NA, that's probably just a ping issue, not too big of a deal. I would fortify this meteorite and go to Wick now. At least shadow it. Leanne should probably taken it off spawn when she realized no one was around. Leon definitely should have been there. Leon and Isaac probably should have been there to begin with. Instead, we're taking another fight with an Isaac. I think Wick is definitely the play here. You've kind of like, you've done the setup, right? To get to this point in the game. Now it's just time to convert. Like, you're not weak. You know? Like, right, look who's getting Wick right now. It's a 13 mastery Leanne who's struggling and dying. Like, have you just been shadowing the area and she does this? Like, you just kill her. Like, you just put her to sleep and kill her. But now there's like a 2,000 health Wick walking around that Leon's gonna get for free. This is why we always go to Wick. Wow, the Leon actually got it. It's a misplay by Leon. There's no way he should give up this Wick to Leanne here. He might die now because of it. But I think that definitely could have been your Wick. We won't talk about the timing on that. This fighting of the Isaac isn't doing anything. Like, at this point, like, you're not gonna kill him. He's not gonna kill you. You are trading mastery, but like, the Leanne's now 14. She's gone up a level. We're still at 15. The Isaac's always been ahead of us. And the Leon's now at 15. We have Leon and Leanne. If you have the cams here, you should be able to see this fight's going on. I think this is an easy third party. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have the cams here, right? Okay, you don't have them yet. Radar scan, so you would have seen people in the area. Yeah, and then you take the cams here. So, unless you can't see these two fighting, but there's no possible way you can't, right? It's 100, unless you didn't stop to fully take them. I don't know. Yeah, the Leanne ult healed her to full. She's got... Unfortunate for the Isaac there. I'm the kind of guy to die to Wick. Go into a practice tool and just practice taking Wick. That's the best way that I can help you with that. Learn how your character takes Wick. He just stood there, yeah. It was the ego. I'm 4 mastery ahead, so I should be able to just stand there and fight a Leanne. Cube Watch. I don't think Cube Watch is better. I know Cube Watch is a little overtuned. I don't think it's better than Drop Near for you. Don't think this does much. I know it's gold. I would still run Drop Near. Some guy with more patience and kills Midwick. It's a gamble. It's kind of just how it is. The only Wick clear that you're confident in is Nikki at the moment. Yeah, it's just a practice thing. The more you do it, the more that you build confidence with every character. The Leanne probably should be here in hospital to get this gold box because she has Wick. But she is not, so you should take this. I'm Isaac, I'm 4 mastery ahead walking around. That's a Leanne. Let me just fight her when she has full invasion bar. Yep. You've solved the case, Jinx. I bet you that was entirely the logic.
Check if there's any alcohol.
Leanne kills Leon now. Probably, yeah, I bet you it's the same thing. We know that this is gonna go get a gold box. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen here. It's already transformed. Misses the duck dive. It's just alt. Yeah, alt and stand still again. It's probably exactly how the Isaac fight went. Tac visor. Still don't think is better than... Well, I don't know. This one's at least a little bit more closer. I think drop near is definitely better than cube watch, but attack visor is, well, no, because you have emerald tablet, so you don't really need the cooldown, I don't think. This is what, 10, 22. It puts you at 30. Crown would also put you at 30. You're trading this for 2 defense and health. Maybe it's a little bit better. I'm inclined to believe you on attack visor. I'm not accepting this cube watch. This is drop near is better. Farming out hospital is good here. Got your mastery. You've got traps. You've got cameras. You're Vanya, so you don't need EMPs. You can poke out any traps with your range. And make sure your SP is full before you walk up to this Leandel. And I'm assuming when you're going to call something in for Glacial Shoes, I don't think you'll get the chancel. Oh no, she backed off. So that's going to be Glacial Shoes for you. Okay. So, maybe this was a misclick, but when there's 2 people left, safe zones aren't going to trigger. Like, if there's 2 people left before safe zones happen, you'll automatically go to final zone. These won't get, like, confirmed. So putting a trap here doesn't really do anything. You're not going to get timed out if you have to flee out the other side. And I don't think most of the time people are going to try and fight you in the safe zone before the final zone appears, especially if this Leanne's been getting a lot of kills and has timer now. Maybe it was a misclick, but just on the off chance that it wasn't. Kind of looks like it was. You were just walking away from it now. I have no SP. I don't know if Vanya really needs any at this point. I would probably... Ooh, it's a bit far. Your final zone's going to look more like... this. I think it just covers some of the bushes. Like, this is a good insurance trap if you're gonna run away, like, out this way, but I don't think that's the most optimal place. I would like to see you trap, like, either here or here if you're coming from this side, because then she can't, like, play the bush angle on you here, because she's gonna try and hide in vision from you, charge up, and then try to fight you. I'd also like to see you swing around more over to this side, because untransformed Vanya, untransformed Leanne, all her spells are AoE. If you stand near this dog, she'll hit this dog, and dogs apply healing reduction. So I know you have Cube Watch, it's for the shield reduction or whatever. This dog will just beat her down. Like, I know all your spells are AoE too, but if you can force her to aggro this dog, this is a good chance that you'll win this fight. I hope my drawings aren't too chaotic. Instead, you hit the dog. And it's gonna apply healing reduction to you now, and kind of just force you to kill it. That dog definitely was gonna be your friend. That's a good chip. I think you definitely want to hold your ult to stall out her form. I would throw in it now. Oh, this zone is huge. I did not realize factory zone was that big. Okay, good trap there. And then good burst. Okay, good job. I didn't realize. I thought this was like way smaller than it was. I just don't know eternal return apparently. That's fine there then if you're gonna fight all the way down there. Yeah, I mean, other than the dog thing, I think that was played really well. A few things, you definitely should have had Wick buff this game instead of fighting the Isaac. But I'd say you did really good at prioritizing your hunts. Can I roll that back? For sure. or the game will just consider that ended. I'll bring it back open. Did the land not have ult? No, I think she just didn't click it. She definitely should have had ult. So I was thinking of saving the sleep to time out the ult, but she just didn't use it, so you could burst her down. We'll look at the ending again. Yeah, she has it.
What have you been drinking?
Yeah, I think she either ults it there or there, like either one.
Convenience for you.
Preferably probably the second time,
That side looks more
but
interesting.
she just didn't click it.
Congratulations. A drink to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, the build's also a little bit problematic, but what can you do? I think you played that game really well, though. In terms of your question of like decision making on what to prioritize, I think if you try to play most of your games like you played that game, then you will win most of your games, especially on Vanya, a character who's like pretty slow at whatever she does. That was good, though. Okay, in our last game, we have Snowy. They're unranked previous season. I'm a 8-day new player who's just copying a top Sua mains build. Oh, perfect, Jinx. Here you go. I don't know which people hard counter and when to take a fight or objective. We have Jinx in the chat, a seasoned Sua player who can probably answer all your matchup dependent questions. Sua tips for matchups, it's generally just if you're deciding between blind or CC immune, like if they're auto attackers, you probably want to blind them. If they have like some form of CC that will get you killed, you probably want to CC yourself, or CC immune yourself rather. It's definitely more case by case than that, but for an 8-day player, that's probably just good general advice. But yes, if Snowy, if you are here, please direct all your questions to Jinx. They will be able to help with matchup dependent stuff. So we have a mostly bot lobby too.
Give me a bottle of good
Okay.
liquor and I'll be in a second.
That's probably a tutorial thing. You in the early game, you don't need to get these vision consoles. You pretty much don't need to grab them until you've completed your build. It'll just slow you down. This might okay. I'm probably gonna go a little bit hard on this video because if you're an 8-day player, there's probably a lot of like optimization things that you'll need. But just so you know, don't take any of this personally and don't try and focus on all of this at once. It's gonna be a lot, but take what you can and just practice little things at a time. And I promise you, you will get it. We're not going to worry too much about like the bigger stuff like optimizing inventory and looting. We'll focus on the direction of your looting. If you're going to run to this hyperloop, you definitely want to follow this path, which you pretty much did and then had to E back, but that's all fine. Yeah, just take it in small steps. Oh, you are here, Snowy. Good. I picked up Sua. I came from Paragon, and the similar character is Crunch, but I'm fine with harsh criticism. Well, we're not here to roast you. We're definitely here to help you get better. This is already good pathing. I know nothing about Paragon, unfortunately, so I won't be able to take any comparisons there. I guess the one thing I'll say, so forgive me if you already know the concept of loot distributions, but in Eternal Return, each zone has separate loot clusters. So this will be a cluster, and they'll always contain one of every item in the zone that you'll need for your build. So unless you need multiple clusters or the cluster's already been looted, try to stick to one cluster. So loot these 5 first if you spawn up here. If you are inside here, as you can see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Basically, if the player hasn't been here before you, you'll always find the items that you need. Also, yes, good job taking your mobility spell at level 1. Helps you move around the map. Same thing here in factory. Just loot in a path that makes more sense. Go to the outside one first and then come in. These are just small things. I think I know this build. This is the build that goes... I think this goes Pond Temple after, right? Also at 8th day, you're still getting used to the map, probably. So I'm not going to worry too much about like how you walk directly to the teleporters. I'm telling you right now, this is already more advanced than any 8-day player I've had, like myself included, on day 8. Like, you're doing a lot of things right already. I haven't taken Wick successfully yet. Don't worry about that too much. We'll get your fundamentals down first, and then we'll worry about Wick. There's only one route for Sua? Interesting. Don't worry about this. This is just a... That's typical Hanwoo behavior. Pretty much any elo, doesn't matter. Hyunwoos love to just slam you into walls for no reason. It's either factory or cemetery otherwise. Is this the build that runs spirit culling? Because I'd recommend that for newer players too. If you're taking Superior's build, I don't think Superior runs spirit culling, but I think others do as well. If you have spirit culling, you can ignore all this stuff. Also, you dropped one of your purified water on the ground. That's for your chest piece. You'll probably make sure that you're conscious of items that you drop. Meteorite and Tree of Life, you typically want to take after you finished your full build. Especially as a newer player, a lot of the time if you get into lobbies with more experienced players, they'll kind of let you feel out the game and not like kill you right away. But if you're like taking objectives, they'll probably see that as like, you know what you're doing, and I would just be cautious about getting your full build first. I'm sure you're still a new player queue, but most Suas don't? Okay, interesting.
One less inconvenience for you.
I would focus mostly on making sure you got the early game down, because I think that's going to dictate a lot of how your game is going to go. Yeah, so what do you need for what's Sua's arm piece? What's builds with barbed wire? Is it sports watch? It's probably sports watch. I don't know what's the recipe for sports watch. Oh, watch. Okay, so you need glue and watch. Yeah, just be careful to where you're pathing. Oh, you got it. You're good. Once you finish your build, you typically want to start taking hunts. So this boar here, get into the habit of kind of just like farming everything that's on your path. You did a good job taking chickens here.
I miss the old days.
I'm assuming you're taking this for Evening Star or Morning Star or whatever it's called. That's good that you're already building transitions. That's another step up from new players, especially the correct ones too. And we're here at Alpha, so you came to an objective, which is also good. You're gonna have a fight here with 2 bots. I would worry about who's in the area instead of, like, I know these are bots, but worry about who's in the area before you just full send it on to an objective. Typically now is the time where you'd want to take one of these console visions first. You don't always have to. They kind of slow you down if you're a character with dashes, or can get out of most situations. Sua's a fairly safe character. She's not a completely safe character, so just be conscious. This is good spell rotation. You're making use of your auto attacks, making use of your knockup after you hit your Q too. Seems like you've got like a pretty good idea of the character. It's just more so like macro stuff. This is, I would assume, for transition prep. You got another boar here that you could take. You also have Tree of Life up here. You could probably build Horus. This probably won't be up normally at this long though.
Check if there's any alcohol.
It's just mainly taking hunts is the big thing for the early game here. You got chickens again. Once you complete your build, you're pretty much strong enough for every hunt, especially if you have a transition.
Less inconvenience for you. That side looks more interesting. You still have
You took the
a long
tree.
way to
That's
go.
good. Glad to see you do that. Free objectives are
Less
free.
inconvenience for you.
You have a bat here that you can also take. Like this is just a like a QW as you walk by, or even like a Q auto attack probably kills. Imagine for the ISIL matchup, you either probably want to W yourself on the like ISIL's Q when it's about to stun you, or you want to blind him. I'm assuming you're looking for medallion here. Yeah.
One bad move and you might get caught.
So Horus, good item. Got another bat here. Got some bears that you walked by as well. Just be on the lookout for some hunts. Hunts will help you take, if you press V while you're in game, I can't do it in spectator mode. It'll open up your mastery. And then taking hunts, also don't forget to equip your gold item once you build it. Taking hunts will help you do more damage. You got more wolves here that you can be taking.
Any alcohol. Wow.
The
Found the good liquor.
take every objective strategy is something that'll work in new player queue. As you get better players in your lobbies, these won't always be available. So just know, like, again, it's fine for where you are right now because it'll help you get used to taking objectives, but just know that these won't be as free as they usually are.
One less inconvenience for you.
Also, when you're moving around the map, just be careful. Like, using E is good to cover distances, but just be careful that, like, if you E into somebody, or you are into somebody with the clone of your E, like, you're probably just dead. You won't be able to run away. I'd like to see you get revenge on the Hyunwoo that hit you earlier. Oh, good. Really good E there. Good weapon skill too. That was really good. You've got a really solid concept of spell rotation, which is very hard to teach. So I think Sue is definitely a good character. If you're, I'm assuming whoever you played in Paragon probably also required you to have good spell rotation.
I miss the old days.
And you've got a pretty good concept of like the credit calling in too. This is honestly, if you're not winning a lot of games, I wouldn't worry. You've got a lot of good habits so far that new players just don't have. This is all very good stuff that you're doing. Very impressed with. You're definitely gonna be a good player at some point. Just get some more practice in on the macro game, and you'll for sure start taking down a lot of games. Once again, bat and boar, you can be farming. I would also like, this is a little bit more of an advanced tip, but when you hunt, you typically want to hunt in a rotation. I have a video on my channel called how to play the mid, or I think it's called how to snowball the mid game. And I talk about hunt rotations in it, where because you went night 1, you were in temple, and then like day 2, you were in alley, and then night 2, well, still like day 2 archery, and then night 2 forest. Like this is a lot of zone to cover. When you get into the habit of taking hunts more, as you get through like each of these zones, these will be respawning at the time you probably finish these. So you want to head back into a circle and you kind of just do like a loop. Now, temple, alley, archery isn't really a hunt rotation per se, but avenue, pond, temple is. So if you rotate through hunting these zones, typically at some point of day, there will be hunts up. So I would just be a little bit more conscious of your movement. Like I said, the contest every objective angle won't always be an option to you, so you won't really have a reason to go to all these objectives. The less, especially like when you have consoles too, like you minimize risk, right? Like if you have temple and avenue console, you pretty much see everyone who's in this area. And that's a large portion of the map. So you're less likely to die that way too. Will links get blocked? I have no idea. I don't know how like finicky stream elements is. If it is, I will just repost it. Feel free to try. I think YouTube and Twitch links should be okay. If it's anything other than, or like social media links should be fine. If it's anything other than that, I have no idea. Does it make sense to try and play on the most meta character? It makes sense to try and learn the game through one character. You don't typically have to play a meta character. If you're like not attached to any one character, then I would try and learn a meta character just because it'll make your time a little bit easier. But if not, then I would definitely stick to whatever character you're playing. Yeah, I don't really have the best micromanagement with click moving and attacking. That just takes practice. You'll develop that. I fucking clicked on everything that's wrong all at the start when I first started playing Eternal Return 2. Don't worry about it. Just takes more games. Jinx, feel free to DM me the link then. I can just post it in chat. I like Tazia, but she's difficult, I think. Yeah, Tazia is very difficult, in my opinion. This is kind of the same thing as Haze, where you really have to be accurate with your skill shots. That's kind of okay. So that's probably something you did unintentional here, but this is kind of a really good habit. If you can, this is something I don't do that I need to start doing. You missed the Q on I here, and I know it's a bot, but instead of like sending it with your E or into them, you did a good job of like just not forcing the engaged here. A lot of Suez engages, I imagine, probably lead with Q, probably alt as well, but not forcing an engage after a missed spell is something that I can't get through my fucking head that I need to stop doing, but you did really good there. Here's the link for the sewer guide if you want. Yeah, if you miss true, try RQ. Yeah. Another thing you can do instead of just like waiting for this meteorite to spawn is go get the console. It'll give you vision for the area, and you would be able to see that this Chiara is sneaking up on you. Not particularly sneaking up on you, but just in the area. See, like there's the Q miss into the E. Just make sure you're hitting your spells first. You still won that because you hit everything else.
No drink to
But
celebrate.
just be a little cautious. If that Chara did reactivate her ult there to dodge your ult, you probably just would have died. So a little bit careful, a little bit more careful with the fights. Did a good W to blind her. I think he used the W to blind her at the very least. So that was good. Had you have seen her coming though, you probably could have gotten the jump on her with Q, would have hit it. Super low mastery? Yeah, a little bit. So 10 mastery on day 3 is fine for this lobby because you're also playing with other new players and you're very ahead of them. But typically at this point when Wick is spawning, you'd want to be somewhere around 17. At the very least, probably 14 or 15. Once again, careful with leading with E. Again, it's fine because it's a bot though, but just be careful full sending it with E first. A lot of good shit that you did in that video, in that that replay though. I don't think you're a bad player by any means. You showed a lot of good habits there. I'm trying to get in my memory that I should only E with a Q. Yeah, you'll get it into your memory a lot more when you start getting punished for it. That's typically how you learn when you can do something and when you're not, is when you actually get punished for the thing that you shouldn't be able to do. But I would advise against it most of the time. I'm like Jinx is saying, I'm sure there's scenarios where leading with E is probably fine, especially if you're trying to bait stuff on a character, but I would just be careful about full sending it into things. Jinx 100% knows more about Suicidal. I would definitely take their advice. Yeah, and keep playing. It's the best way. Eventually, you'll come into a rough patch where you'll get taken out of new player queue. It's kind of a thing that all players go through. The jump between like regular queue and new player queue is very extensive, and the game will seem a little bit unfun. Once you start to feel that, yeah, I would focus mostly on your fundamentals rather than if you're winning games again. It'll be a little miserable and it's a little tough, but at the current state of the game, it's kind of just what every new player goes through. That was all of our replay submitted though. Really quickly, I do want to show you guys one thing. A lot of the new player advice and extensive tutorials comes from my own experience, and last season I was ranked 42 in NA, 834 global, Mithril 357 LP. This season I'm currently 17th in NA, but still early season, so ignore that. I didn't start that way. In season 1 I barely made it to gold. I was gold 4, 14 LP, and bronze 2 in duos, as you can see. So stick with the game. A lot of my experience and help that I try to give you guys comes with me struggling, and there wasn't a lot of guides at the time. Like this is an 8-minute game that I still didn't even finish my build in. Like, I sucked at one point. You guys are much better than I was when I first started playing. So there's definitely a lot of good things you guys showed. Stick with it, and I hope to see you guys in my ranked games at some point. Imagine having your favorite character in season 1. Fun fact, my favorite character is Heart. I love this character. I just don't main her because I suck at her. To be fair, we have access with more resources like your own vids. I appreciate that. I hope they're helpful. That's all I'm trying to do, is just have players not struggle like I did. Thank you guys, though, for coming out to the stream. This was the first time I've done a replay review session. It was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to do more. Feel free to submit replays again. I'm going to be closing this forum, and I will make a new forum for every time I do one of these streams. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for almost 2 hours. Like, that was pretty good. We got through 4 games. As more submissions do come in, inevitably, I will go to a randomized format just to try and keep it fair for everyone. The first person will always be picked, just because I like to reward them for probably having notifications on and kind of just keeping an eye out on the channel. So if you want a guaranteed review, try to be the first person. Also check out Jinx. They've been super helpful here in the chat, especially with their SUA knowledge, but overall game knowledge too. They stream over on Twitch. Their @ is Our Jinx, I believe. I will put it in chat if I get a chance. They stream Eternal Return. They stream art. Very good drawing. If you need emotes, please commission them. I'll send in my own replay sometime. That'll be funny. Yeah, please do, Jinx. I subbed to the channel just before stream, and luckily too, I never got the notification for the stream despite turning it on. That happens sometimes. I think it's also because I have these streams as unlisted instead of just publicing, so they might not get the notifications for it. I will look into that to see if there's anything on my end that I can do, but it might just be YouTube being YouTube. Yeah. If anyone has any more questions, please feel free to write them. I will try to answer them as best as I can. If not, that will probably be the end of the stream. I will come to you even on your suckiest day. Here you go, Jinx. You have a new follower now. I'll put the character Discord in the chat too. I'm gonna be making a video probably next week on Eternal Return resources that you can use outside of playing the game. It's gonna be mostly, we're gonna cover DAC, we'll cover aya.gg, we'll cover the test subject Discord. So look out for that. It'll be a super informative, dry video, but I hope you guys give it a chance. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate all of you a lot. I'm gonna run the video I played at the start of the stream just one more time, because it is the first episode of coaching, just so that everyone knows how to submit stuff for the future. But after that, I will be ending the stream. So I appreciate you guys lots. Look out for the videos coming soon. I put out a short this morning on how to do the Camillo event that just came out. Get yourself the Popstar Camillo skin. Appreciate you all, and have a good rest of your day. Welcome to the It's Levi's replay review livestream. Simply fill out the form in the video description or on my community tab ahead of the stream, and your game will be considered for a review during the livestream. Live coaching is completely free, so don't feel the need to super chat or spam the chat trying to get one. It'll be ignored. After the stream, the VOD will stay up, so you can always come back to this stream. There will be timestamps timestamps in the description in case you missed your review. If you submit a game for review, you can expect the following. I'm sharing my knowledge and experience with Eternal Return to help you become a better player. All advice, tips, and tricks will be based on my own experiences. The aim is to make you a better player, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat whether it's your own game or someone else's. But do not put anyone down if they make a bad play or die. We're all here to learn and get better. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. Leave a like if you enjoy and let a friend know so we can have more submissions. The more people that submit, the more you're likely to learn. Let's get started.